Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're exploring the MPEP, the Manual of Patent Examining Procedure, today. Specifically, Chapter 300, which deals with ownership and assignment. And our focus, it's narrow but really important. Section 307, Issue to Non-Applicant Assignee. This is all about how a company or whoever owns the invention rights gets their name, not the inventors on the actual issued patent.
Exactly. It sounds administrative, but this section is the bridge, really, between signing an assignment document and having that ownership legally reflected on the patent grant itself.
So it's more than just paperwork.
Oh, definitely. For you listening, if you're involved in patents prosecution, M&A litigation, understanding this is, well, it's fundamental. Our goal here is to walk you through the precise steps, the often strict requirements needed to make sure that patent issues to the right party. And this isn't just USPTO policy. It's grounded in law, like 35 U.S.C. 152. And the detailed rules, they come from 37 CFR 3.81. Getting this right on time is crucial.
Okay, let's dive into those requirements. If a company and assignee wants their name on the patent instead of the inventor's, what exactly do they need to do? And you mentioned timing is critical.
Yes, very critical. The requirements are strict, particularly for assignees who weren't the original applicant, especially under the newer rules. There are basically 4 key things. First, a formal request.
A specific document.
Right. You have to explicitly ask the USPTO to issue the patent in the assignee's name. You can't just, hope they figure it out from the assignment record. Second, and this is the timing part, that request, it must be filed no later than the day the issue fee is paid.
Okay, the day of payment, not after.
Not after. That's the absolute deadline under 37 CFR 3.81. Once that fee is paid, the wheels start turning for printing, and that simple request window, it closes.
And the other requirements, you said 4.
Right. Third and fourth are about the assignment itself. The request needs to confirm the assignment was already recorded at the USPTO.
So it'd have to be in their system already.
Ideally, yes. Or, if it hasn't been officially recorded yet, the request must state that the assignment document has been filed for recordation. Basically, it's either already recorded or it's being filed right now alongside the request. That's covered in 37 CFR 3.11.
Got it. So paying the issue fee is like pulling a trigger. If I pay it Tuesday noon, but only send the assigner request Wednesday morning, what happens? Can't someone just, fix it easily?
No. Not easily. You've missed that administrative cutoff. The USPTO system is designed to have all the ownership ducks in a row before that fee payment locks things in for printing. Miss that deadline, and you're immediately into a different process.
Which involves?
Which involves filing a certificate of correction request. And that means more forms, more fees, and more delay. It's a headache you want to avoid.
Right. So that deadline isn't a suggestion. It's a hard stop for the easy route.
Precisely.
Okay, but ownership isn't always straightforward, is it? What about situations with, say, joint owners? Maybe the inventor kept some rights or multiple companies share ownership. How does Section 307 handle that?
Good question. 37 CFR 3.81C addresses these more complex scenarios. The system can handle complexity, but there's one main rule. Whoever is listed on the patent must, together, own the entire right, title, and interest, 100%.
Okay, so no partial owners listed alone.
Correct. So, scenario 1. Joint ownership with an inventor. If, say, an inventor assigns 80% to company A but keeps 20%, they both hold the entire interest together. In that case, the patent can issue jointly in the names of both the assignee, company A, and the inventor.
Ah, so the inventor stays on the patent in that case alongside the company.
Exactly. They're listed as co-owners. Now, scenario 2. Multiple assignees, but the inventors are completely out of the picture.
Like 2 companies splitting the rights.
Right. Maybe Company X and Company Y jointly bought all the rights from the inventor. If they together hold 100%, excluding the inventor entirely, then the patent can issue in the names of both assignees, Company X and Company Y.
That makes sense. It reflects the full ownership picture, however complex. So let's circle back to missing that deadline. You mentioned the certificate of correction. If the issue fee is paid, and then you realize the request to name the assignee wasn't filed, what's the exact procedure? What's the extra burden?
Well, first, you have to formally file the certificate of correction request under 37 CFR 1.323.
More paperwork.
Yes. And crucially, you have to pay the associated processing fees, which aren't trivial. It costs money to fix the mistake.
Okay.
And you still need to provide confirmation that the underlying assignment, the document transferring the rights, was actually recorded before the patent officially issued. The timing of the original assignment recordation still matters, even when you're correcting the name on the patent later.
So even the fix-it route requires that the assignment itself was properly handled earlier. It really emphasizes getting it right the first time.
It absolutely does. Pay attention before you pay that issue fee.
Now, let's talk about the physical patent document itself, the one you frame and hang on the wall. If everything's done correctly, multiple assignees listed, maybe a long company name with a doing business as or DBA, are there limits to what actually gets printed?
Yes, and this is a really important point, often a source of, well, confusion. The printed patent document has space limitations. So regardless of how many owners are properly listed in the official U.S. PTO records or even on the issue fee transmittal form, the PTOL 85B,
Yes.
only the first listed assignee name will actually appear on the printed patent grant.
Wait, only the first one? Seriously?
Yeah.
So if the form says Megacorp and its subsidiary Alpha Innovations, the patent only shows Megacorp.
That's generally how it works, yes. The printed document is quite limited, so in your example, only Megacorp would likely print.
Doesn't that seem potentially misleading? If Alpha Innovations is the operating entity?
It can be. The rule is driven by formatting constraints on the printed document. Take another example. If the assignment record and the transmittal form list Smith Company doing business as Jones Company, the patent itself will just print Smith Company.
Wow, okay. So that first name listed on the PTOL 85B form is incredibly important for the printed version.
Critically important for what appears on the paper. And another key thing, once that patent issues and prints, the assign information on that printed document is frozen in time.
Meaning?
Meaning, if Smith Company sells the patent to Global Holdings a year later, the printed patent will still say Smith Company. It doesn't get updated.
So how do you find the current owner then?
You must check the official USPTO assignment recordation database online. That's the living record. That database shows the complete chain of title, including later transfers. The printed patent is just a snapshot from the issue date, and a limited one at that.
Okay, that's a crucial distinction. Printed patent, snapshot, potentially incomplete. Assignment database, the definitive source of truth for ownership history.
You got it.
All right, last area. What about fixing genuine errors? Not late filings, but say typos in the assignee's name, or maybe someone was accidentally left off the list submitted before the issue fee. How are those kinds of mistakes corrected? Sounds like it might depend on where the error is.
That's right. There are different paths depending on what needs fixing. Think of it as correcting the name printed on the final diploma versus correcting a mistake in the underlying student record file.
Okay, analogy helps.
So, if the error is in the assignee information that should have been on the printed patent, like a misspelling or an incomplete name, you need to follow 37 CFR 3.81b. This usually involves submitting a petition.
A petition to whom?
To the Office of Petitions at the USPTO. And of course, it requires paying the necessary petition fee. You're essentially asking them to correct the face of the issued patent.
Okay, Office of Petitions for errors on the patent grant itself. What about the other scenario?
The other scenario is if the error was purely on the administrative paperwork filed with the assignment document itself, like a typo on the cover sheet that was recorded.
Like the input document was wrong.
Exactly. Fixing that kind of error involves a different office and rule. 37 CFR 3.34. You typically need to submit a copy of the original assignment, a corrected cover sheet, and the recording fee for each affected patent or application, and this goes to the assignment recordation branch.
So, Office of Petitions fixes the final output, the patent name. Assignment recordation branch fixes the input, the recording paperwork.
That's a good way to summarize it. Two distinct correction pathways for different types of errors.
This really highlights how meticulous you need to be with ownership documentation throughout the process.
Absolutely. The core message from MPP 307 is that diligence regarding ownership is just as vital as the technical arguments in prosecution. Getting the assignee right on the issued patent means meeting those strict deadlines for recording and requesting it before you pay the issue fee. It saves a lot of trouble down the road.
It certainly seems that way. We've really unpacked a seemingly simple section and found a lot of critical detail from the initial requirements and deadlines through handling complex ownership to the limitations of the printed document and how to fix errors. And as we wrap up, thinking about that distinction you made, the printed patent being a limited static snapshot, while the assignment recordation database holds the real evolving truth, it prompts a final thought for you, our listeners. In our increasingly digital world, does the physical printed patent document, which we know is incomplete and doesn't update, actually retain significant legal weight beyond tradition and ceremony? Something to think about. We would like to extend a special thank you to Mike Shepard, the creative director who organized this entire audio series. Disclaimer. This summary of the MPEP was generated using AI tools, including ChatGPT and NotebookLM, and may contain errors or omissions. It is provided for general educational and informational purposes only, and is not legal advice or a substitute for formal instruction. For authoritative guidance, consult the official MPEP, a qualified instructor, or a registered patent practitioner.